Hello everyone, I am Rahman Sharif and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to make a playlist that will contain the most important topic and the most asked question during the Android developer interview. Either it will be a intermediate level of interview or senior level, doesn't matter. We are going to see the which topic is currently trending and what interviewer asks you during the interview. Not just a topic, we will cover most of the depth of those topics and also the question cover that how you should answer that to make and crack that interview. First of all, I'm wishing you best of luck with this video playlist and hoping that you will get to land your dream job soon. So without wasting too much time, let's move to the directly on the topic. Today is the first video of this series and I want to discuss about the view model. The reason behind choose this as number one, the reason behind it that last year and the last several months, interviewers are continuously asking about the view model almost each and every interview. Either it will be intermediate or the senior level. So people, I know while taking the interview for other developer, I know that people have a knowledge of our view model, but they're not able to express themselves, or even they express themselves, they not cover the main topic that we should be cover that. So that is the reason behind making this as a content on the rank one. So let's move on directly on the topic. So first of all, we will start with the definition. So what is a view model? Why we need it? What the benefit? What are the key characteristics? So we will see each of them one by one. First of all, what is a view model? So whenever interviewer asks you that what is a view model, you can start with like view model is the Android architecture component or the Jetpack component. Both are the true. Either you say the Android architecture component or the Jetpack component. With the definition here is in that is the definition of the view model that it is a Android architecture component or the Jetpack component. But you also have to tell that some of the benefits here as well. So the interviewer have a knowledge. If I get to know that yes, you have a knowledge of this. What main thing that you should mention is that it helps us to survive the data during the configuration change. And the second one you should also that it also helps us to share the data between the multiple fragment of the same activity. So what will be the full answer of that for this question is Android. So ViewModel is the Android architecture component that helps us to save the data during the configuration change, and it also helps us to share the data between the multiple fragment and the same activity. Here the interviewer can ask you one more thing like why it's saved, why ViewModel save, how ViewModel able to save the data during the configuration change. The reason you can explain them there to that like ViewModel whenever the orientation change happens, the activity will destroy itself and the new instance of the activity will be created. But the instance of the ViewModel remain the same. Here it will generate more questions in your mind. We will cover each of them later. So now we are going to see that what are the key benefits or you can say the key feature. Here I have made two slides to explain this. First we are going to talk about the key feature and the second I am going to talk about the benefits of the view model. Actually both are the same. The answer will be both for the same, but the reason behind a creation of two slides is that sometimes interviewer asks you the key characteristics or key features and also other the benefits. Both will be the same, but if I ask what the benefit of view model, some of them are able to explain some of the points, but if I the key feature, then they will get confused or freezed. That what should he answer it? Simple it's just explain the benefits of that's the future of the view model also. Here also comes to point first what we should mention that which point we should mention the first, second and third, fourth, fifth, seventh, sixth, seven, eight like that. So the first and the most important or most simple is that view model help us to survive during the view model help us to save the data during the configuration change. That should be on the first point for you. The another one is also that is it should be that the view model help us to share the data during the view model help us to share the data during the view model help us to share data between the activity and the multiple fragment. So this is the second point. Third, you can say that it helps us to follow the rule or solve the problem of separation of concern. Sorry, concern of separation. It means we have to keep our part of the code like Data source should not know about the business logic. Business logic should not know about the view. So this is the concept of separation. And here it helps us to follow it very clearly. And the other one is the life cycle awareness. It should be your the 4 point. It should be, but that's not mandatory. Even if you can make the 4 to the 1, 3 to the 2, not a matter. But you should mention all 4 as a benefit, because if you mention all the 4 now, all 4, then the interviewer will know that you have a deep understanding and knowledge of it. Like the 4th point, we are going to discuss about the life cycle awareness. So what is the life cycle awareness? What it means in a view model? In a view model, like when the activity get destroyed, then view model will get destroyed automatically. So this is the means of life cycle aware. So the benefits or the key features, we have discussed the 4 points. First is that view model able to save the data during the configuration change. Second is the separation. It follows separation of concern. Third one is the communication between the fragment and activity, and the fourth one is the life cycle awareness. So these 4 points you should mention whenever you talk about the benefits of view model. The benefits of view model, as I already explained, that both are the same, so I'm not going to discuss it again. The reason behind it, I don't want to make this video longer, so it's easy for you and provide a valuable content only. Now the part comes, which is most interesting in this, is one of all topic in this playlist. The most asked question on that topic during the interview. So here let's see what the most asked question in the term of view model for Android developer. So here it is. First is what is a view model? It's common. People ask the definition. Start with definition first. Second, the benefits. We already discussed what are the benefits. Third one, that most asked question is how to create the instance of the view model. Here, let me discuss it. How we can create the instance of another class? We just need to call the constructor. So if you have an experience in ViewModel, you know that ViewModel need a ViewModelProvide class for that. So can we make the instance of the ViewModel in another way too? Yes, we have. We have a multiple option. We have three options actually to make the instance of the ViewModel class. So let's discuss the first one. What is the first one? First one, yes, we can make the instance of the ViewModel by just calling the constructor of it. Here you can say that if you call the constructor, you will get an instance of the ViewModel. But when we can do so, why we need a ViewModelProvide class? You can ask that. So the reason behind that, by just calling a constructor of a ViewModel, you will get the instance. That's right. But you will not able to get the benefit that why the ViewModel made for. Means at that time the instance of the ViewModel not able to preserve the data during the configuration change. So why we will use it? What is the reason? So that's why this is not recommended, and neither we will use that. The second one is we can have a ViewModelProvide class that helps us to generate or get the instance of the ViewModel, and this is the most recommended or used way to generate the instance of the ViewModel. Here you can see the example. We are passing the activity context and the ViewModel class, and we will get the instance. And the benefit of using this is also that you will get the benefit that why ViewModel made for. So that's why this is the most used way, and developers use mostly like that to generate the instance of the ViewModel class. Here one more thing, like when we have a non-empty constructor of a ViewModel, means when we not have to pass anything in the constructor of ViewModel, then this is perfectly fine. But what if we need to pass something in the constructor? So then in that way the things remain the same. Just one thing you have to add, you have to pass the ViewModel factory inside the ViewModelProvide class, and then it will generate an instance for you. Here is an example. You can see that ViewModel needs something in the constructor, and this is where we will first create the factory class, then pass the required thing on that in constructor, and then we need to generate the ViewModel class instance. Now let me summarize the first one before going ahead. So the first one question, how we create the instance? We can create the instance in 3 times. First, directly calling the constructor by the use of the ViewModelProvide class, and if constructor needs something, if ViewModel needs something to pass in the constructor, then we have to factory inside the ViewModel class, and this is the way that we can generate or we can get the instance of the ViewModel. Now the question arises. Now let's discuss on the second question is arise here. Can ViewModel be used to share the data between the multiple fragments in the same activity? So we already discussed a ViewModel can help us to share the data between the activity and their multiple fragments. So answer will be yes. But when you interview yourself, when you give in the interview, do not say just a word yes. You say yes and then repeat the question again. Just reduce the canned words from the question. View model can be used to share the data between the multiple fragments and the same activity. So this is more decent way or the mannerful way to express your things. Just saying a word yes, it seems you are just positioning, you just telling your guess. You don't have a knowledge of it. But when you repeat the question after the yes, it seems that yeah, you have a knowledge and you know that why you're talking about. Here one more thing you can see that like fragment 1 we have used the delegates method by and then we are getting that activity from view models. So I will explain it later part of the video so you will get to know better. For now, yes, we can share the data with the help of view model into the activity and the fragment. And that type of fragment I also know the shared view model. So that's the reason we will talk about later in a shared view model also. So let's go ahead. Since I have forgot to edit the title, so don't worry. Let me. I will explain what the question is. So basically, here the question is, we are keep talking about the view model. So what's the difference of a shared view model and a view model? Do I have any special way to generate the instance of the shared view model? So here the what view model and when view model is shared between the same view model shared between the activity and the fragment, then it's known as a shared view model. And yes, for generating the instance of shared view model, here you can see the example was just creating by the delegates and activity view model called the function activity view model. So what's the activity view model here? So basically it's an extension function from Android.kts library which like when you use a view model you must use some of the dependency integrator. That is one of the dependency Android.ktx. So the activity view model is a function of that. So by the help of it you will get the same instance of view model which is on your activity. So that is the reason for generate the instance of shared view model you will use to by delegates, and this is the list we talk about how we generate the instance of the view model. So this is the difference. Now one more question to the interviewer asks, what is the difference between the view model and the Android view model? If we talk in a very simple way, just say two lines that view model is depend on the activity context. So activity get destroyed, then view model get also destroyed. But Android view model is depend on the application context. So if the activity get destroyed, Android view model will not get destroyed until the application run. First thing is the second view model help us to provide the data to the view rather than Android view model help us to get directly access to the system resource. So this is the difference also. And the third one you can say view model have a default constructor where we do not have to pass anything, but Android view model we must have to pass the application context. So these three differences you can mention during the interview and it will be more than enough for you. But if you want to know the more in detail, so here we have discussed the context, like view model have activity context, and view model had a application context. Use cases view model used to provide a data to the view, and Android view model provide data to the help us to access the system resource directly. We already talked about the constructor. Android view model we need to pass the application context in that. You can also mention we have a little difference to initialize or initialization also to create the instance function. How we create the instance of the view model we already discussed. We need a view provided class without any additional context. But for the Android view model we need application context for that. So this is the difference between the view model and the Android view model. So now here the question is, what is ViewModelProvide class? Here you can say in the screen we have a lot of things, but when interviewer asks, you just simply need to say ViewModelProvider is a class which helps us to generate the instance of the view model. And if you want to say some extra, then show your knowledge by saying that ViewModelProvider need two things. First is ViewModel store owner, which is our activity, so we will pass our activity context. And secondary is the factory. Factory is required when we have something in the constructor of the view model. If not, we do not need to pass the factory. So this will show your interviewer that yes, you have a well-versed knowledge and experience of working with it. So that's the reason it will be a benefit. It will be more than enough for you to crack the interview. So if you don't aware with that and if a lack of work, just say ViewModelProvide class is help us to generate the instance of the ViewModel. And if you want, you can also add that ViewModelProvide class need two things. First, a ViewModel store owner. Remember that word, ViewModel store owner. This will be produce a lot of impression in the mindset of an interviewer because it's a very technical word, so technical thing. So you remember that means you have worked on that. So that's the reason. Please mention that. If not, ViewModelProvide class help us to generate the instance of the ViewModel. That's also enough. But if you know, mention that it need a ViewModel store owner, which is our activity itself. So we pass. So we pass there as activity context and about the factory what I have mentioned. Let's move the next slide. Here the questions come like we are keep coming here by talking that if we need something to pass in the constructor of the ViewModel, how we can do that? So with the help of that, with the help of the factory, what we will do, we will create a factory. We will pass like here you can say that we have something here where we have to pass the string in the ViewModel in a constructor of ViewModel. We have created a custom class with the name of factory. You can put any name what you want. Provide that string into that constructor which implement the ViewModel provided factory. So we have some on create method override method, and we have to pass the ViewModel here, and this will help us to generate the instance when we have to pass something in the constructor. So let's go ahead. Now the most important question of this whole video of the ViewModel. If you understand this well, you understand the ViewModel well. If you understand and able to express this well, the interviewer will never going to ask anything extra in the ViewModel. He assumes that you have all knowledge, you are expert on that. So what the question and how it's valuable? Question is that each developer interviewer can ask it in three times, like how ViewModel work internally, how our ViewModel retain the data during the configuration change, and if the activity get destroyed and recreate, how the instance of the ViewModel remain the same or previous one. So let's first understand a very simple answer that we should be give in this question. You can directly say that all the activity or the fragment have their own ViewModel store, which kept the previous ViewModel instance and check if the previous ViewModel instance is present. They are return that instance. If not, they return the new one. So this is how the instance remain the same. Whenever you answer that, developer interviewer want to ask you more insight that if the activity get destroyed, why the ViewModel store have old instance of the ViewModel. So here the depth of your knowledge can come, and you have to express them. So how? Let's understand the don't think about the answering the question. Just understand the things. Later we will discuss how we can answer that. How we create the instance of the ViewModel? We need a ViewModelProvide class where we are passing this and calling the get function. Let's go inside of each thing and take a look what the implementation of that function of the class. So under going the ViewModelProvide class, we can easily see that it needs a ViewMedia store owner. So means it needs a ViewModel store owner, and you can say we are performing that owner get ViewModel store means which, and what we are passing here, as a, you can see that we are passing just a context here, means the activity context, means ViewModel store owner is activity itself, and we are calling get ViewModel store inside that activity, in our activity. So let's understand what is get ViewModel store. So when you come under a ViewModel store owner, you can see that is the interface. We just have a one function get ViewModel store. Here is the ViewModel function. So let's go inside and see the implementation. Before that, we will go here because we have to check the get ViewModel store. Here you can say if ViewModel store instance is null, then we are creating new one, something, and then we are returning it back to the ViewModel store instance. Otherwise, we will generate the new ViewModel store. So what that means? Till now we are only discussed about the activity, but here you can say that non-configuration instance is depend on the application context. Means now we are out of the activity context. So that's the reason if the activity gets destroyed, then it recreate, then still have the instance in previous instance of the model present there. But how we can express these things into the interview, into the interview to the interviewer, so that he will understand completely, and we don't have to mention all those things like what the name of the function, what the name of the like non-configuration instance class, because it's very hard for us to remember those. So just simple, take a look to see. So first of all, go to the hierarchy of the activity or the fragment. You will see one thing, component activity. When you got label up, you can see somewhere the component activity. Here the ViewModel store owner is. Here is the ViewModel store owner. So we are getting, means each activity have their own ViewModel store owner. And ViewModel store owner getting called, like what is it is? It is a function. Like it is an interface which have a function. Store. So you can say that each activity, when we go upside of the hierarchy, need to mention this. So just to impress the interviewer, when we go upside the hierarchy of the activity of the fragment, we see there is a ViewModel store owner, which is the interface and have just a one function, get ViewModel store. When we go the inside of the get ViewModel store, we can see that check the instance of the ViewModel store present there or not. If not present there, it will create the new instance of it, which will be depend on the application class, application context, not activity context. And this is that's the reason how it will get the old instance of the ViewModel back. Hope I clear the question. This is the most important question, so let's repeat it one more time. So whenever you go the hierarchy, upside of the hierarchy of the any activity. Sorry for interruption. So if we go upside of any activity in a hierarchy, you can say there is a component activity which have a ViewModel store owner, which is an interface, and if this interface have just a one function, get ViewModel store. And this function first check that do we have a ViewModel store instance in there or not. If not, it will generate the new instance of the ViewModel store with help of a non-configurational instance class, which is depend on the application context, not the application context. And if we have a ViewModel store instance, it will return that. So this is the reason, because the ViewModel store instance get from the application context. This is the reason why it have a ViewModel store owner. Why we have a instance of ViewModel store whenever and how we will get it back. This is implementation of the get function, like ViewModelProvider. When you see ViewModelProvider again, here we are calling get function. So here it is. So basically this get function, what's called, it saves the ViewModel store inside like model. It saves the ViewModel store instance in a hash map in a key of value pair. So when we try to fetch, here you can see we are trying to fetch with a ViewModel instance. With that key, if that match, means we have an instance of the previous instance and we will get the ViewModel back. So this is come here. But do not explain it, just explain all activity and the fragment has in a when we go upside of the hierarchy, we see there is a ViewModel store owner, which is the interface. Interface has just a one function, get ViewModel store. Get ViewModel store, check that do we have the get ViewModel store instance. If not, it will create by the non-configuration instance class, which will depend on the application context. If you say until now, it will be fine. So what we have to remember, we have to know the name of the ViewModelProvider class. You have to know the hierarchy words, like when we go the hierarchy outside of the activity. And here's a ViewModel store owner. ViewModel store owner is an interface which has just one function, get media store. And get media implementation, we can see if they check that if a store is available or not. So basically ViewModel store, where is it stored? It is stored into the application context, not the application context, not the activity context. This is how it gets survived. Now the one question arises, let's forget about the latest era of Android development. We are just getting up in a past when we don't have a ViewModel. So how we save the data during the configuration change? So we have our onSavedInstanceState. This is the lifecycle method of the activity. We save some data, later retrieve it. So this is enough for us at that time, because but the limitations are here that we can save just a small amount of data, and we can save it for the less amount of time also. So we want to help to go over it on them. So this is the two most common difference between the ViewModel and the save instance. So like you can say with the help of the ViewModel, we can save the data, larger data for the longer period of time over the onSavedInstanceState. This is the benefit or difference between the both of two. So that is it from this video tutorial. Yeah, I covered almost all the questions that is asked during the view model, but maybe that also a chance that you have something else that asked during the interview. If you want to share a link to get explanation on that topic on that question, please share us with me. I will try to explain it for you only in a better way that I can. Even if you have something to ask and not get clear your queries, or you have something in the mind want to ask, do not hesitate to reach me out. Just put it in a comment. If you satisfied with the explanation, if you understand the concept, if you understand that how you should present yourself into the during the interview, so please share, like my videos, subscribe my channel, and share it with your friends. So this is the all. Now let's talk 2 minutes for the interview perspective things. Whenever you are facing the interview, keep calm, confident, and speak with a louder, so clear voice. Do not try to not take too much pause. If you want to say slowly, if you have confusion, say slowly. If you need to time, just say, can you please give me a 2 minutes or 1 minute to think on that question. He will definitely give it. This will show that you have an experience of handling the team. You have an experience of communication between the team. So this is the thing that impress the developer. So interviewer, not to get don't try to get the read of that question. That is not the good practice. So hoping that I explain the thing well, and it is all of my voice, all of my words are good for you, are beneficial for you. So. And you can also mention that which topic you want to get the question of interview, which interview on clarification. So I will try to complete the video on that perspective as well. So thanks for now, and that's it. Bye bye.